Chapter 3, Humanity. If we want to know the truth about humanity, we must turn to the Bible, because truth is what God says about a thing. From the Bible, we find out about the creation of humans, about our nature, about how we relate to other beings, about how we fell into sin, and about what will happen to us in the future. Our beginning. It is natural that we want to know where we came from. We have not always been here. Philosophers, people given to thinking deeply about the meaning of life, and scientists have given different theories about the origin of humans. A theory is what someone thinks may be the reason why something happens, but it has not been proven to be true. One modern theory about where humans came from is the theory of evolution. Those who believe this theory believe that no one made us, but that we developed from lower organisms. But the Bible tells us in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. God created man. Why did God create us? God speaks of us as those whom I have created for my glory. I have formed him. Yes, I have made him. So we see that we were created to glorify God. Our nature. If you have ever seen someone die, you know that every person has a physical body and also a soul and spirit. At one moment, the person is alive, and the next moment, they are gone. Their body is still there, but the life is gone. Only the dead body is left. You are not just a body, you also have a soul and spirit. The Bible teaches us that we are threefold beings: body, soul, and spirit. It is hard for us to know the difference between the soul and the spirit because we cannot see them as we can see the body. But the Bible shows us that there is a difference. Animals have a body and a soul, but they have no spirit. Humans have a body, a soul, and a spirit. The soul is what makes the difference between a living being and a dead one, but the spirit is what makes the difference between a human and an animal. Because we have a spirit, we can have a close relationship with God. Our feelings and desires come from the soul. Our ability to know and think comes from the spirit. Because we have a spirit, we are responsible to God. Our greatest purpose is to walk in the works that God has prepared beforehand for us to do. Our free will. God also created other beings in the universe. These are angels or spirits. They do not have a human body. They are mightier than we are, and they were also created to serve God. Like us, they have a free will so that they can choose what they want to do. Some of them chose to disobey God, and they fell into sin. God could have made us like machines so that we would have to obey him without any choice. Instead of that, he made us so that we could choose to love and serve him without being forced to do so. Our sin. When God created free beings who could do his will or refuse to do it, he must have known that some would choose the wrong way. And that is what happened. There was a great angel called Lucifer, whom we now know as Satan. He decided to set his will against God. God cast him out of heaven, as well as the angels who followed him. From that time, Satan has been trying to stop God's plan in every possible way. God created Adam with a free will, and Satan planned to tempt him to disobey God. God had warned Adam, but Satan proceeded to tempt him, and Adam sinned. Read the account of this in Genesis chapter 3. God, who is holy and just, is the ruler of the universe. He cannot allow sin to go unpunished. This is why God cast Satan out of heaven when he set his will against God. God did the same thing to man and drove Adam out of the garden and from his presence. Every member of the human race has received Adam's nature. We are all born with a weakness or tendency to sin. It is easy for us to sin. No one has to teach us. When we are tempted, this nature responds and we yield to the temptation and sin against God. Our future. Just as the Bible tells us where we came from, it also faithfully tells us where we are going. Someday every one of us will stand before God and be judged. The fact of death is so common that we all understand that every man will die. But the Bible adds, but after this, the judgment. God has created us and has shown us His will to us. God will surely hold every one of us responsible for everything we have said or done. In this life, we are preparing for the next life. We do not die like animals. Our spirits must go to God, our Creator and Judge. Chapter 3, Exam. 1. What does the Bible teach us about the origin of humanity? B. God created humans. 2. What does the Bible teach about humans? C. They have a body, a soul, and a spirit. 3. What can tell the difference between the soul and the spirit? C. The Word of God. 4. Our spirit allows us to have communion with God. D. 5. What does the Bible teach about human free will? C. We can choose whether we listen to God or not. 6. Who was the first one to disobey God? A. Lucifer. 7. When did humanity fall into sin? B. When Adam yielded to temptation and disobeyed God. 8. Because of what the Bible teaches about sin, C. We should honestly admit when we sin. 9. What does the Bible teach about our tendency to sin? A. We are born with a sinful nature. 10. What does the Bible teach about death? B. Death is followed by judgment.